Yes, good evening. My name is Wallace Gator Bradley, and I'm the president of United Peace, Inc. And this show is being produced by Terry Marsh Bradley. People think that's personal, but she's the producer. She's also the director of this show, as well as the chairman of United Peace, Inc. There's so much that's happening that I got a personal friend of mine. And I want to start off by saying to God be the glory. And the next thing I want to say, here come the judge. Introduce yourself to the viewing audience.
Thank you. So my name is Tom Sianis. I'm running for Cook County Circuit Court Judge. I'm a slated candidate by the Cook County Democratic Party. I've been a prosecutor since 2005 at the Cook County State's Attorney's Office. 5 years ago, I was honored enough to work with the great Jesse White. I head up the Illinois Securities Department's Enforcement Division, and what we do there is we protect victims of financial crime. I've been doing that for the past 5 years. We have 12 attorneys that I supervise, along with 6 special agents and 5 investigators, both in Chicago and in Springfield. We work on cases where there's investment advisors who are registered, and then we have people who are not registered. People like the Bernie Madoffs of this world.
Right.
And so we take a look at cases where people have invested money and then have lost their money because of various reasons. So I also got appointed by Lisa Madigan to be a special attorney general.
Yeah, I read that.
For the last couple of years, and actually prosecute cases for the Attorney General's office in their special prosecution unit. That's my legal background. I got qualified and recommended by all the bar associations. I'm running again for all of Cook County. There's 3 judges. There's 3 types of judges. Either you get associate position where you're appointed. There's the county-wide judges who are running all of Cook County-wide, and there's your sub-circuit judges, which is the areas where you live. So so I'll be on every ballot. I was, like I said, endorsed by the Cook County Democratic Party. Just recently endorsed by the Chicago Federation of Labor, and a big supporter of the working people and the unions of Cook County.
But here's something that they don't really know. The curse is no longer over the north side nor the Cubs. Share that with them, man, about who your dad is. Sure. And about the goat and...
So, thank you, Gary. So my family owns the Billy Goat Taverns in Chicago. We have 8 locations. We've been around since 1934. My dad is Sam Sianis, the owner-operator of the businesses. And my family and I, we've been working in the business. I've been flipping burgers before law school. I
Cheeseburger.
Yeah,
right.
cheeseburger. No fries, chips, no Pepsi, Coke. So we've been doing that for a long time. So in 1945, my dad's uncle, Bill, brings a goat into Wrigley Field. And he brought it for good luck. And unfortunately, it was raining. It was in the 4th inning. The Cubs were winning 2-1, and people were complaining about the smell of the goat. So Andy Franushers came in. They kicked out Bill Sianis with the goat, and unfortunately, Bill said the curse will be on the Cubs and will not win a World Series as long as he's around. So 71 years later. 2016, you fast forward till 2016, the Cubs won the World Series. We've been trying, we've made efforts to get the goat in the Wrigley Field. We've brought it in numerous times. We've tried to take the curse off. And the October of that year, we had a Reverse the Curse party where we hosted an event, and all the proceeds went to this organization I'm a part of. It's all the Hippocratic Cancer Research Foundation, where it's a great organization with Northwestern Hospital. And the money went there. We ended up winning the World Series, and I take a little bit of credit for that. The team was great,
right.
But we did bring that goat back. We took the curse off. Now, with the curse being lifted, I'm officially able to run and hopefully win this race.
But there's a curse coming.
And here's
here's
what we need to talk about. So you got to come out and vote. If you don't vote, you'll be cursed. So the only cursed if you don't vote. That's the only curse that's around now. So we appreciate everybody coming out and voting this time. March 20th is our primary. Please come out to vote. This is a big deal for not only the top of the ballot, but on down.
Right.
There's a lot of good judges that are on there that I'm friends with, that are people that have been slated with me, been endorsed by the party, been vetted, been qualified. These are the type of candidates you need to look at. We're at the bottom of the ballot, but people have to come down there after your governor's race, the
Right.
attorney general's race, and everything.
You
Look
know,
at the
I was
judges'
talking
race.
with a couple of people, and we gonna try to put a referendum, not this time, maybe the next election, because I feel like the judges should be on the top. Because at the end of the day, you can be the president, you can be the mayor, but you're gonna end up with something in the courts.
That's correct.
So one of the things that I want to say, and I agree with you, there's other good judges that's out there running. They're not running against each other that I'm supporting or working with or believe in, like Travis Richardson and Judge Anthony Swanigan in the 15th district, and
Both great.
both
great
of them
people. Yeah.
great. You know, one's in the
Absolutely.
second sub circuit. But one thing I push on this show: if you don't vote, you don't count. 2018 election is very important, not just in the state of Illinois, but very important across the country. You see what's happening in Washington, D.C. Those of you that believe that Hillary should have been the president because she got the popular vote, you got a chance to push that popular vote movement again and get those Republicans out of Congress and out of the United States Senate. And then you can get some justice against Trump if you feel like he chumped you. I'm just saying, 2018, come out and vote. Don't choke. Vote.
And you're only cursed.
And you're only cursed if you don't vote.
That's right.
All right. So, we got a caller. Caller, thank you for calling this show. You know your
sir.
opinion is respected and expected.
Yes, sir, Mr. Gator, my friend. This is Ray.
Hey, Ray.
How you doing? I want to make two quick comments for the, I guess, apparent judge. First of all, should we elect him so everybody in Chicago gets a free cheeseburger?
That's like buying a vote. Hey, long as you don't get a
I want
Pepsi.
to know if he's going to be tough on crime or he's going to be easy like the judge is right now.
Well, you know,
Now-
Ray, let me share this with you. Yeah, hold on, Ray, because, you know, we're going to respect everyone's opinion. I want to share this with you about this man. I know him. If I didn't know him and I didn't feel he was for real, one thing I do know about him, he just laid down his resume of what he has done thus far. One thing I do know about him, he gonna respect the Constitution of Illinois and the Constitution of the United States. So he gonna be tough on crime, but he gonna be fair on those so they can have a fair trial within his judiciary.
So, yeah,
All right.
thank you. I'm going to
Okay,
be a
Peter.
judge that will listen. I'm going to be a fair judge. I'm going to be a judge that's not judgmental.
Right.
So you have to look at the facts of the case. I've been doing that for a long time as a state's attorney, and that's what I want to be. I want a judge who will listen, and a judge who will be not judgmental.
Okay,
Okay.
so one more quick comment.
All right, come on, Ray.
You know, there are people that don't have a record. They have an album, and they go to court. And they get out on some kind of bond. How can people with 5 or 6 convictions?
Well, you know,
Get out.
Ray.
You know,
One of the things is this, because, you know, we got to wrap it up. I got another guest. I don't mean to cut you off. I'm not cutting you off. I just want to state this. That you asking, you got to get them questions to the legislators because they the ones that makes the laws. You follow what I'm saying? Okay? His responsibility as the judge is to make sure that everyone that come into his courtroom get a fair trial. You know what I mean?
okay.
Okay, so he's not a biased judge. He's
Okay,
a fair
David,
judge.
I just want to say great show as always.
All right?
I always
Thank you.
call because you know what? You speak the truth, and that comes from the heart.
Thank you, Ray.
And good luck to your guests.
Thanks, man.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you, Ray. Appreciate you. So I got another caller. Hey, man, I might have you back on next week. Caller, could you please state your name, voice your opinion, because we respect your opinion and expect your opinion on this show. Come on, sir.
Hi, this is
Oh, sorry. Come
Lisa
on, man.
T.J. Hughes, and I just wanted to call in to you, my brother Gator, because I have the utmost respect for you.
Thank you.
I listen to the program. I'm very, very supportive of you and very proud of you and the people that you have on the show, because we need to have more people like this judge candidate here. I'd like to just volunteer to do whatever I can do to assist him and you in your plight.
Okay. Hey, could you let Terry give her your name and your phone number and everything, and I'll call you back after the show.
Okie dokie.
I appreciate you.
Thank you. Appreciate
Okay.
you too. Good luck, sir.
Thank you.
Hey, we have a lot of news articles and stories, so I'm going to go and put some of those down, and then I'm going to bring on my next guest. But hey, thank you, man, for stopping by, man.
Thank you for having me.
Okay.
Pleasure.
Hey,
Thank you.
man, and tell your dad, man.
Cheeseburger, cheeseburger. You're only
No
cursed if you don't
Pepsi, no
vote.
Coke. That's what I'm talking about, man.
All right, sir.
Thank you,
Thank
sir.
you.
All right. Hey, now y'all done heard about Trump getting real vulgar and talking real crazy. And he said some things about, I don't want to say this because this is a family show, but he used the curse word and identifying people like Haitian, those from Haiti and those from Africa shouldn't be allowed in America pretty much. And he said this, and Dick Durbin came out and said, yeah, you did say it, and the media said you said it. So this person I'm bringing on to the show now is a wonderful woman. She's now the managing editor
Yes.
of the great Chicago Defender. So Mary, tell them who you be.
Well, as you well know, we've known each other for over 20 years.
Right.
And my background has been close to 30 years in the music and entertainment business, running our own company that pretty much helped to facilitate aspiring artists in the business, as well as field marketing programs across the board. A lot of people know me from the street side, but at the end of the day, they also began to know me as one that educates, empowers, and facilitates the youth with a lot of the elders, the next generation of go-getters, and being a prolific writer and making that transition in the last 5 years to have those talents more open, more widespread. From the west side of Chicago, born and raised, and came up in a environment that cultivated black empowerment, black entrepreneurship. My father was a black business man on the west side for nearly 35 years. And of course, the congressional rep, Danny Davis, was our alderman and a very good friend of the family. So understanding that dynamic really prepared me in the seat that I'm in now, because little did I know that even though you know where the bones are buried, I didn't know how handy that came in, especially in the news business.
Right. I know you got some plans for the Defender, and I want to give kudos to the publisher of the Defender. What's her name, Francis?
Yes, Miss Frances
Miss
Jackson.
Francis, for having the vision to see where you want to take the paper with her blessing and guidance. And when I saw that you had did 21 cover stories around all kind of various issues, including one where I was in the story.
Yeah.
And with news being what's happening today, let's get into that, because I want everyone to demand that the city, the county, federal government, state government, black businesses, white businesses, all of them need to see the Defender for what it is. It's a major paper. It's not just the Sun-Times and the Tribune, okay? And after what happened in Alabama, we as a black voting bloc, when we put our mind to it, we make things happen. We talking about buy black and all that. Well, everybody, let's push and make the Defender greater than it is. And she had to pay for that commercial.
Well, thank you. I mean, this week, of course, we're
Right.
a weekly, and one of the things when I came on board was the question, man, are you guys still around? And we didn't know the Defender was still around. And yes, we are still around. We publish every Wednesday morning. It hits the streets. We're in predominantly most of the African-American neighborhoods, Walgreens, the corner newsstand guys, some of the gas stations throughout the south suburbs. And it's just really about empowering the next voice. We love our current followers, which basically our elders, our grandmothers, our
Right.
grandfathers, our uncles, our aunties, and we still listen to them because we're in a very news-driven town, and we have to understand that Chicago is the mecca of black civil liberties, black independence, black empowerment. And when I tell you, we have visitors from all over the world that come to visit our office to see where it all started. And when we look at our analytics and see who is viewing our website, it's coming from overseas. We get a lot of views from South Africa, from Germany, from Britain. And when you see that, you got to go, wow. Right. What we do is viewed upon from a global perspective, and we have to be accountable for that. And so what we pride ourselves on, and as managing editor, to kind of mesh all that together, still have that voice. It's important to have that voice. And we need to continue that with the support of our community and beyond.
Right. You know, I'm glad that the cover story get this right and proper. Martin Luther King. It's the 50th year of his assassination. Still we see the racism that's in the water management. But I talked to the guy, Randy Connor, I think that's his name. And the mayor is going to be behind him to check those individuals that's not listening to his dictate to help eradicate that racism. Today, I saw Reverend Jackson. My son and I was at the breakfast, the mayor's breakfast.
Yeah.
And it's the first time Reverend Jackson was the keynote speaker.
Yeah. Very first
That's
time.
your very first time. You follow what I'm saying? And it was a historical piece. But I want to say this to those that may not know. It was Mark Allen on his show, Hear My Voice. And I heard his voice and I came on to this show. And he felt that, hey, Gator, wouldn't it be nice if Reverend Jackson was the keynote speaker this year at the mayor's breakfast? And it would be just as great if the mayor was the keynote speaker at Jesse's breakfast, because we all got to come together, because it takes all of us in order to make sure that we all focus on what's important, and that is the 2018 election. You follow what I'm saying? And when I went to the breakfast and saw that he was a keynote speaker, I immediately texted Mark and told Mark, hey man, to God be the glory. So Mark Allen, we be hearing your voice. So we want you to hear ours, and we saying, hooray, hooray to you. And if Father Fager got the message from you, and the mayor said it was Father Fager that texted him, I want to say we heard your voice, and so did Father Fager. So, Mary Witt, the thing that on the act, share with the news what you feeling around what's happening. And one other thing I want to say before you do. Everyone is running for office. be you black or white, be you Republican, be you Democrat, you need to advertise in this paper. You need to send your press release and your schedules to this paper like you do the Tribune and you do the Sun-Times. Okay? Because African Americans depend on this paper. And sometimes they barely read the Sun-Times and the Tribune. I know, because they come to me and say, Gator, what did you read today? And I'll tell them the Defender, the Sun-Times, and the Tribune. So, with that being said, that wasn't a paid commercial.
But thank you.
Right. So, Mary, with what Trump said, no, we're going to keep it local. We ain't going to waste no time on Trump. The commercial that Ronna put out about Blagojevich and the tape conversation with Pritzker, and then Pritzker come out with his commercial dealing with the facts about the Legionnaire's disease. Could you share with our viewing audience the news from your perspective that everyone needs to be paying attention to? It's happening locally here.
Well, this is just the tip of the iceberg, and we were not surprised that gloves will be taken off less than 70 days out to the primary. So this had been really a bear that Ronna has been poking for a while. Is the affiliation with Blagojevich and his habit of allegedly touching upon a possible appointment. So we've known that for a while. The commercial to me was really nothing new. It's just something that can add more shock value to get people to steer away from Pritzker. Now, Pritzker, on the other hand, with the Legionnaires, that's another thing. People, you know, in the news, we were already aware of that.
Right.
So you're going to see these guys go tit for tat in regards to who's in cahoots with whom. Pritzker's always in that very safe zone of he's not going to throw salt,
All right.
on Madigan, and Ronna's not going to throw salt too much on his GOP colleagues. So what we're seeing right now is everyone's kind of tiptoeing and putting it more for shock value to the mainstream public, whereas most of the political analysts have been, we've been aware of this. It's nothing new. It's just a matter of what I would like to see more
Right.
of, Gator, is each of these camps and even an extension of other candidates to utilize voter registration.
Right.
Empower those voters, because there's still a lot of voters in not only Cook County that's not registered, but throughout the state that's not registered.
You know what? I'm glad you brought that up, because what I'm seeing is the suppression of voting within the African American community. And what I mean by that, I hope I'm not stepping on anybody's toes. It's not my intention. I'm just dealing with a fact. Whether it's African Americans that's not pushing voter registration like they know they're supposed to. If it's African Americans that's pushing candidates even to the point of making them not vote for the right candidate, that's suppression. The vote to me.
Well, let's address the elephant in the room. Some of our faith leaders and clergymen are also accountable for not pushing that envelope, and they
Right.
know that they have the empowerment of their congregation. And when you have that empowerment and you're parading the line of candidates throughout your church or your institution, but you're not adding a voter registration component to educate your parishioners or the people that are part of your faith community, you're just as accountable, you're
Right.
just as guilty.
Right.
So at the end of the day, we got to look at that and say, okay, who is towing the line of accountability
Right.
when it comes to our community?
Well, one of the things is this. We gonna toe the line. Because there's a new defender in town. It's not the offender. But some of y'all may be offended because we're gonna tell the truth about you. Everybody know that I'm for Pritzker. But I also respect those that may be with Kennedy, that may be with Ronna, that may be with Biss. All that I'm saying, at least I'm telling my candidate to be concerned about the African American agenda, and I hope all you other guys and ladies do the same thing. And I'm pushing voter registration with Mark Allen. Priska is pushing it because we want y'all to hold us accountable. It's a new day in town. And it's we the people instead of the them and us. And with that being said, you get the last word. No, to God be the glory.
There you go.
Then you get the last word.
Well, I'm a co-sign that because you can't outshine God.
That's what I'm telling you. Thank you. Appreciate you. See you next week.